There's a Greek proverb that says, "It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent, but the one most adaptable to change." And there's a lot of wisdom in this proverb, because it's true that in order for something to survive over long periods of time, it must adapt. But another thing that must happen for any group, organization, or individual to survive is to be able to get rid of certain things. Specifically, they must be able to purge themselves of certain behaviors and characteristics which threaten to destroy them from within. Because left unchecked, these behaviors can tear down kingdoms, reputations, and empires from within. The point is, we all have to deal with difficult people. People whose behavior is toxic and who do not contribute positively to our lives. They are anchors dragging us down. However, having some knowledge of psychology and human behavior can help us to understand why certain people behave the way they do. It allows us to predict their behavior and defend ourselves against it. It helps us to know when we should show compassion and when we should withdraw our support. It gives us an edge when dealing with people, helping us to see what motivates them and to anticipate how they might react in different circumstances. So today we want to expose 7 behaviors that, if left unchecked, will destroy any system from within. We want to share with you the subtle ways in which these behaviors operate, how they manifest, and what we can do about them. These aren't surface-level personality flaws. Rather, these are destructive forces disguised as harmless traits, capable of tearing down kingdoms, reputations, and empires from within. No. 1. The sower of discord. Have you ever encountered someone who always seems to stir up trouble wherever they go? Someone who, even when faced with their own problems, would rather fan the flames of conflict than lend a helping hand. This tendency to exacerbate discord and sow mistrust among others is a red flag. It's a warning sign that this person's presence is toxic and destructive. In the intricate game of human relationships, such individuals play a dangerous role. They create rifts, deepening existing divides and turning colleagues into enemies, friends into rivals. Just like the biblical figure of discord, who was said to have brought strife into the world, these people become agents of chaos. Their mere presence can turn a harmonious environment into a battleground of conflicting interests. This behavior doesn't stem from ignorance. It's a conscious choice they make every day, often motivated by envy and a thirst for power. By sowing discord, they weaken the very fabric of the community, positioning themselves to take advantage of the ensuing disarray. No. 2. The clinging vine. Have you ever been around someone who seems to thrive on the misfortune of others? When challenges arise, instead of offering support, they revel in it. This unsettling behavior is a clear indication of a troubled mind, a mind that feeds off the pain and struggles of others. Such individuals lack empathy and compassion. They don't offer a helping hand when someone stumbles. Instead, they stand by, eager to criticize and judge. They are the embodiment of the biblical injunction, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil." These individuals are emotional vampires. They drain the joy and hope out of every interaction, leaving behind a residue of bitterness and resentment. They are social parasites, clinging onto others for support while offering nothing in return. This parasitic nature extends to their personal relationships. 2. They enter relationships, not to give love, but to extract it, often becoming possessive and jealous. Left unchecked, these clinging vines choke the life out of relationships, friendships, and even families, leaving them withered and dry. Number 3. The tangle in the web. Have you ever been caught in the frustrating grip of procrastination? Or perhaps you've grappled with the paralyzing weight of perfectionism. This tendency to become ensnared in one's own complexities is a universal human struggle. It's a constant battle between the desire for progress and the fear of failure. But sometimes this internal struggle spills over into our interactions with others. We find ourselves held back by our need to micromanage, to control every detail, or by our crippling fear of making mistakes. This tendency is a form of it prevents us from fully engaging with others, from trusting in the collective intelligence of a team, or from delegating tasks effectively. Like a spider trapped in its own web, we limit our potential, unable to move forward because of our own tangled mess. Overcoming this requires a shift in mindset, a conscious effort to loosen the reins of control, to trust in the capabilities of others, and to accept that perfection is often the enemy of progress. No. 4. The shadow in the mirror. Have you ever looked into the mirror and seen a stranger staring back at you? Someone who lacks the empathy, kindness, and respect you hold dear. This unsettling image isn't just a figment of imagination. It's a reflection of the dark side of human nature, the shadow self lurking within each of us. This shadow self emerges when individuals let their personal demons take the wheel. It manifests in the form of prejudice, discrimination, and the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes. These individuals then become vessels of societal biases, allowing their prejudices to dictate their actions and treatment of others. In doing so, they betray the very core of their being. They abandon the principles of equality, fairness, and respect, embracing instead a narrow-minded, judgmental perspective. This behavior is particularly insidious. When it comes from those in positions of power, it becomes a tool for oppression, a means to subjugate and marginalize others based on irrelevant factors like gender, race, or sexual orientation. It distorts the beautiful mosaic of human diversity, turning it into a fractured and hateful reflection of itself. No. 5. The stinking corpse. Have you ever encountered someone who seems to carry a heavy burden of shame and guilt? Their actions are driven by a desperate attempt to atone for perceived past transgressions. This overwhelming sense of unworthiness can lead them to engage in self-destructive behaviors. They may punish themselves excessively or seek constant validation from others as a way to alleviate their burden. However, these behaviors only serve to reinforce the very shame they're trying to escape. It's like trying to outrun a ghost, always keeping it at bay but never truly escaping. This behavior stems from a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy, often rooted in past mistakes or perceived failures. It's a refusal to forgive oneself, to accept imperfection and move forward. As the saying goes, the past is never dead. It's not even past. This behavior keeps them trapped in a cycle of despair, unable to break free from the shackles of their own making. Number 6. The burning pyre. Have you ever felt the intoxicating allure of revenge? The burning desire to inflict harm on someone who has wronged you? The desire for retribution can be a powerful motivator, driving us to extreme measures in our pursuit of justice. But what happens when this desire consumes us completely? When the thirst for vengeance becomes the sole purpose of our existence, we risk becoming like the mythical figures who built their whole world around acts of revenge. Individuals driven by this behavior often harbor deep-seated anger and resentment towards those they perceive as having wronged them. They become obsessed with inflicting pain, seeking to burn away the hurt caused by betrayal, injustice, or humiliation. But this pyre of vengeance ends up consuming not just the victim, but the perpetrator as well, leaving both parties charred and broken. Ultimately, it offers no real resolution, no true catharsis. It leaves behind only the ashes of what once was. No. 7. The chameleon's mask. Have you ever met someone who seemed to change like a chameleon, adapting their behavior and beliefs to fit in with whoever they were around? People who constantly change their behavior in this way are not necessarily being dishonest. They're often genuinely confused about their own identity and values. They lack a strong sense of self and are driven by a fear of being rejected or misunderstood. This chameleon-like behavior is an attempt to find acceptance, to blend in and avoid standing out. But it's a futile and ultimately self-destructive pursuit. These individuals become prisoners of other people's opinions, always conforming, never truly connecting. They sacrifice their authenticity at the altar of acceptance, hoping to be liked by everyone, and in the process, like the chameleon that changes color, they lose themselves. This behavior often stems from a deep-rooted insecurity or low. These individuals feel the need to constantly seek validation from others because they are shaky about their own worth. These behaviors, though deeply ingrained in human nature, are not insignificant. By recognizing and understanding them, we can work towards mitigating their impact. We can learn to spot the signs early, to confront these tendencies head-on, and to seek help when needed. After all, awareness is the first step towards healing and growth. So let's strive to be better, kinder, and more compassionate towards ourselves and others, working together to build a better world where these destructive forces have no place.